All good? Going? You see?
Yep.
Yeah, going. Okay. Evening, ladies. How are you feeling? All right? Good. Okay, so this is week 4 out of your 6-week block of exercises for your lower back pain. So since the last time I saw you, has anyone had any trauma, injuries? Has anything got worse? Anyone got better? Yeah? Getting better over the week? Good. So I know you all know the facility, but just in case, if anyone does need the toilet during the session, out of the doors, around the corner, just behind us. If anyone has got to take any kind of like emergency calls, telephones, things like that, please feel free to take it if you need to. Throughout the session, anything that needs modifying or changing, you will. But make sure that each of the session is manageable within your pain threshold, because bear in mind you're back complaint. So we need to make sure that you move well for you. So if you don't quite get the full range of movement, we'll adapt it as best we can and go through. Okay. Any questions before we start? No? Everybody all right? Lovely. Okay. So we start off, so tonight we're progressing now from each of the weeks that I've seen you previously. So we've still got our mobility and our warm-up. We've got 6 flows of exercises to go through, working on both stabilising through the shoulders, through the core, the hips, and through the glutes and the bum. And from here we're also looking at how we work on posture and our breathing as well. So there's a lot to work on, but we are progressing each week as well we go through. But if throughout any of the movements you do get any discomfort or pain or anything, please say. Alright? Okay, so to get you warmed up, just to start off with, again, just to allow you to kind of feel it during 4 weeks in, I need you to think about your core engagement or your TVA engagement around here, so your big corset muscle that comes around here. So you just draw with your shoulders, relax arms at the side of the body, just draw your belly button in towards your spine and kind of go as high as you can go, okay? And that's your like 100% contraction. Make sure you breathe through a few mouths shut. So make sure you're breathing at the same time. And I want you to release that pressure by about 1/4. And then I want you to release again by another 1/4. So you should feel there's a bit of a contraction on the belly button's drawn in a little bit, but it's not in as tight as it was. So throughout the movements today, that's kind of where we want your contraction in, about 50% activated through your TVA and transverse abdominis. Okay? Lovely. Okay, so we'll start mobilising through the neck. So bring the chin down towards the chest and just stretch out. Bring the head back up and then look over your left shoulder. So come across, look over, back to centre, and then look over the opposite shoulder. Lovely. Back to centre. And again, chin to chest, so bring the chin down, back up, and then look across that shoulder again, come across, get it back to centre, and opposite shoulder coming through. Lovely, okay, back to centre. From here, your shoulder roll, so we're going to go up and backwards. So try and stretch out through that chest, drawing up towards the ears, push up, push back and round. Does that feel okay for everyone? Yeah. Lovely. Alright, just circle through again, as big a range of movement as you feel comfortable with. Good. Try and keep that head up as well, so you've got that good alignment going through. Lovely. Alright, from here, we're just going to take it into arm circles. So bring the thumbs up, making sure that as you engage and lift up, keep that TVA engaged about that 50%, so what that felt like. And then open out, draw around, stretch through. If you just need to move at all, in case you don't need to high five anybody else, you can. So again, lift up and have that engagement through your TVA again. Open out that chest, lift down, and lift round. Good. We've got 2 more to do. So open up, good, engage that TVA. Lower down. Last one. Lift up. Good. Perfect. Okay. And relax. Okay, pelvic blocks or compass. So take the feet at about hip width apart, have a soft bend in those knees. And so this is just to help to kind of articulate the spine at the bottom. So just tip the pelvis up and underneath, and then stick it out behind. Just create a little bit of a curve in the spine, not much, and then cut through to the front, and then back out to the back. Bring it back to centre, and then tip out to one side. Come back to centre, other side through. So your knees will take a natural bend as you come through from side to side, just to try and help mobilise your spine at the bottom. Good. Last 2, and then bring the pelvis forward again, up and under, and then push that pelvis back. shoulders down. Everyone feeling alright? Feeling a little bit warmer?
Yeah.
Lovely, okay. So we're going to do some spine swings. So this is where we're going to actually swing the arms around the side of the body. So just watch the person or objects near to you. Just make sure you don't hit anything. When you do swing through, make sure that you lift the opposite heel. So when you swing through around to the left, bring the right foot off the floor. When you swing around to the right, bring the left foot off if that's right. Am I not very good at lifting? Okay. So, coming round, let your nose stay in line with your sternum as well. So try not to take the body round, but keep looking forward. So let your head naturally flow round as you swing through from side to side. Good. Alright, lifting that back heel off. Was that a bit? Good. Nice. So again, let that head follow. Lift that back foot off as well. So release that heel. This is really nice to release through that lower back, just mobilising and stretching out. A couple more. Good. Last one. Nice. Come back to centre. That feel okay for everybody as well?
Yes.
Okay. So we're going to do a nice lateral bend. So feet again at hip width, soft bend in those knees, just rolling the shoulders back and down, and constantly feeling like you're as tall as you can be. So lifting through the crown as well. Okay, from here, one hand sliding down through the body, just reach and lean, feel that stretch through the side of the body, come back up, good, and reach and lean the other way. So kind of picture that you're through two panes of glass, come back up, so as you reach down, try not to lean forward, and also try not to lean backwards. Come back up, good, slide down the other way, back up, one more each side, down, hopefully good, last one. Reach down through. Feel good for everybody? Yeah? Feeling a little bit warmer again? Nice. Okay. So bring your heels together and your feet apart in a little V shape. And it's just about enough space that it's the width of your fist as a gap to make that V shape. So not too close, not too far away. Okay. So with those heels out, legs connected, just feel the connection through the heels, the knees and into the inner thighs. Bring the arms across the front of the body from here. Relax the shoulders down. Now squeeze the legs together. As you squeeze the legs together, squeeze through the bottom and feel like your big toe is pulling away on the mat. So you should feel like your bottom just instantly kind of wraps so your hips get nice and stabilised. And then from here, again, nose following in through line of the sternum from here, you're going to twist round to keep your hips forward. Keep that squeeze on the legs and then come back to centre. So this is helping to mobilise your thoracic spine, so around your rib cage. Come back to centre and other side. Switch through. Keep pulling those big toes apart on the mat. Back to centre. Keep squeezing through the legs. Relax those shoulders as well as you're squeezing through. You've got one more per side. And again, make sure you breathe for me. So coming through. Otherwise I'll be forced to tell you a joke. Nice, and relax down from there, open up the legs. How are we feeling? Alright? Yeah? Marvellous. Okay, so we've got a squat and an arm raise, so coming into a chair pose. So again, take those feet at about hip width. If you feel like the feet need to go a little bit wider to achieve the squat, take the feet a little bit wider. Okay, so from here, keeping the chest lifted, TVA engaged, about that 50%, so you just draw that navel to spine, not so it's really tight and engaged, but just enough. You're going to push the weight back through the heels, so sit back, keep the chest lifted, head forward, and look between the hands, and then lower the hands and come straight back up. And we've got 8 repetitions here. So keep that chest lifted, think about pushing that bottom backwards, raise the arms forward, and stand up. Ready? Okay, so off we go. So TVA engaged, shoulders down. Good. Sit back. Lovely. And come back up. Nice. Well done, everybody. And again, sit back. Look forward through those hands. Good. Come back up. Think about that TVA engagement, about 50%. Lengthen through the chest, through the head. Well done. 4 more. Good. Come back up. Nice. So really picture sitting back through those heels, push that bottom backwards. Good. Come on. Down, down. Lovely. Last one. Head chest. Good. lifted, look through, reach, stand tall. Oh, roll those shoulders back. How are we feeling? Definitely warmer now?
Yeah.
Marvellous. Okay, so some knee lifts. So all these exercises are designed to give you like a rehearsal ready for the main session and to get the body nice and warm as well. So our knee lift, so feet are hip width apart. From here, let the weight transfer to one leg. So you kind of feel like with that slight knee bend, that all the weight just be one side. Again, roll the shoulders back and down. TVA engaged about that 50%. Lift this knee. Nice. Slide back down. Transfer the weight across. Turn to the other side. Lift and lengthen. So feel like someone's pulling you up here. Good. Slow down. Come across. Everyone's balance is looking good. Improving by week 4. Yay. And come down, come through, come across. Well done, spread the toes, keep lifting and lengthening through here, keep that TVA in, and down, and over. Is it good? Nice. Come across. That's one. Good. And down, back down. Oh, feel alright? Yeah. Looking good. Balance is getting better at week 4. Last little one to do, rocking back and forth on the heels just to release the toes, release the ankles as best you can. So again, everything is, the movement is within your threshold, your tolerance, what you can accept, okay? So as you come up, spread those toes as much as you can, and then as you come backwards, tense through the front of the thighs, lift those toes, and then rock forward. Spread the toes, oh, nice, little bit. Come back, tense those thighs, lovely. So good control again, so head up. Let the body weight kind of shift forward and back. This is just to mobilise right at the bottom of the body. Get you ready. I know. Nice. Last one each way. Come on up, spread those toes. Good. And come up, test those thighs at the back. And relax. How are we feeling?
Good.
All right?
Yeah.
Marvellous. Brilliant. Okay. So, please keep your back. Okay, so introduction of bands as we go through. So we don't need too much. Okay, so we've been using these now for the last couple of weeks. So we're used to grabbing those things around stick. There we go. Okay, so we've focused on the knee lift in your warm-up, but we want to try and strengthen particularly through the upper back as the weeks go on as well, to help improve our posture so we start to feel stronger through upper back to stand taller. Okay, so we're going to take your feet at those hip width apart again. So these are your knee lifts with your balance. Okay, so you're going to transfer the weight across to one side, lift up and hold that position. Okay, TV engaged at about 50%. Shoulders back and down, chest lifted. Okay, hands out in front. Okay, go slightly just outside shoulder width from here. Hold in that position. Pull the band apart, keeping the shoulders down, and come back in. And we've got 4 pulls here. So keep those shoulders down. Good. Open up that chest. Pull that band apart and wide. But keep those shoulders down. Breathe out as you pull apart. Lovely. One more. Well done, Alison. Good. And come back. Relax those arms down. Oh, bring the weight down. Round through the shoulders. Just to mobilise. Does that feel okay for everybody?
Yeah.
So remember, if you need to make it easier for yourself, go wider with your grip. If you want to make it harder, bring the grip in so it's a little bit narrower. Okay? So again, transfer the weight across to the other side. So come on over, lift through that knee, hold that position, TV engaged, shoulders back and down, arms out in front. Okay? And then from here, pull that band apart and keep those shoulders down. So feel a squeeze between the shoulder blades, pulling the shoulder blades back and down. Good. Breathe out as you pull apart. And Last one. And down. And relax for me. Come on down. Band down to the floor for us. Lovely. And again, roll those shoulders back and down. How did that feel?
Good.
All right, yeah. No pain anywhere, no discomfort?
No.
Good, okay. So just remember to take it to your point that you feel comfortable with as well. Okay, so we're going to work through a little flow sequence. We're going to come back to that exercise because we're going to do 2 sets of it as we go through. So your next exercise, we've done this before, so your star balance position. Legs just that little bit wider than hips, hands open, and then that star. And it is Christmas. So when you're in this position, make sure the shoulders are down away from the ears. So a lot of us carry a lot of tension on our shoulders and will naturally do this. So allow the shoulders to come back and feel like the shoulder blades at the back are kind of pinned in, focused in, and pulling back and down in that position. Okay, relax your arms down just for a moment, okay? When you do your star balance, your arms will be in this position, TVA engaged and lengthen. You will tip the weight across, point the toe, hold out to the side, and then come back down, transfer the weight, lift and lengthen, pull apart, and come back down, and then we'll relax. But we're going to combine that with a squat as well, because we're on week 4, we've done both exercises in week 1, 2 and 3. So, the way the flow will go is you will have the hands just at the side of the body, you will come back into your squat, and then as you come up, reach the arms up, lift and extend, come through. Come back down, bring the hands down, side of the body, squat through. Come back in, come up, lift and lengthen. And come back down. Does that sound okay? If anyone's getting discomfort and you don't want to put the arms in, you don't have to. Okay, so if anyone's tight in their shoulders, if you're feeling a bit sore, then you don't have to put the arms in. Okay, so take those legs a little bit wider, ready for your star balance position. Hands at the sides of the body, that TVA, so that navel just drawn in just a little bit, chest lifted. Okay. Hands slide down, draw those hips backwards and bend, push that bottom backwards. Good. As you come up, extend, let the arms reach, extend, transfer the weight, point the toe. Lovely, good. Come back down, bring the hands in, slide back down, push that bottom backwards. Lovely. Come back up, extend, reach. If you don't want to quite take the balance and you want to keep the toe in contact with the floor, carry on and keep it there. And come back down, hands down, slide down the body, sit back into it. Lovely. Come back up, reach, extend, transfer that weight. Again, if you want to keep the foot in contact, you can. Or point the toe, lift. Come back down, reach down. Sit backwards and weight on the heels, chest lifted, that TVA engaged. Lovely. Well done. Come back up, reach, extend. Point the toe, lengthen. Come back down. Lovely. Last 2. And down. Perfect. Hands up. Good. Keep those knees wide. Lift and lengthen. Open the arms. Open the chest. Point the toe. Good. Come back down. Reach back and through. Lovely. Come on up. Lift. Lengthen. Reach. Nice. And come back down. Oh, breath. Are we feeling definitely warm now?
Yeah. Nice and warm.
I know. So no discomfort anywhere, everyone's okay using upper body. Lovely. So when you do come into that kind of position, just picture kind of opening out through the chest as well as you go through. Perfect. Okay. So 2 little stretches just to add on to those, particularly just to help you mobilise through your lower back at that point. So you're going to come down, hands on the front of the thighs, and squat down, and the weight can just rest on the front of the knees. And from here, it's the head, chin comes down towards the chest, round through the upper body, tip the pelvis underneath just to get that stretch through the back, and then tip the other way, head up, push the bottom backwards, and come back round and stretch through. So we're just going to do a few repetitions there. So bring yourself down. So again, push that weight back, rest on the top of the knees from there. Lovely. Tip that chin down underneath, round through that upper back. Feel that stretch in the lower back.
That feels amazing.
And then tip and turn the other way. Lift that head, relax the shoulders, stick the bottom out. Lovely. And then tip and turn the other way. Bring the head down, draw that pelvis underneath, stretch out through that lower back, and tip and turn the other way. Keep going, just so I can have a little look at you as well. Lovely. And then come back, draw that chin round through that. Lovely, brilliant. And then turn the other way. Perfect, lovely. Okay, all right then. So from here, take your feet just that little bit wider. So you're in the same position. Now hands down onto the top of the thighs from here. And this is our little like sumo squat stretch right the way through the back. So with the weight through the back of the heels, to mobilise the spine, bring the opposite shoulder down to the opposite knee. Let the head turn with it, look behind, and just let the lower back lengthen and twist. Come back up. Good. Lengthen the other way. Let yourself look behind, stretch out through that lower back. Good, across the top of the shoulders and come back up. We'll just have a look at you, so lengthen the other way. So push in, flatten out through that back, let yourself turn behind. Perfect, and come on up. Turn, lovely, other side. So other side, keep your, if you can, keep your knees in the left, if you push around. Good. Lovely, last one each side. Stretch through. Alright, and come on, finish. Okay, feeling right? Yay, perfect. Okay, so we're going to come down into a Pilates roll down and come into a box position on all fours between knees and with hands. So come to the end of your mat. Okay, so again, this is to like articulate the spine and flex through. So chin is drawn in towards the chest. Picture we've got a round object in front of us. Round through the shoulders and just slide the hands down. Feel the stretch through the back. If at any point you feel you need to bend the knees because of the hamstring tightness, you can. Okay? Keep the chin drawn into the chest. Once you get to the floor, flatten your hands, bend your knees, and let your hands walk forward and bring yourself down to the ground into an all-four position. Okay. That's it. Perfect. Okay. Once you're here, gravity plays such a massive part in your spine, and particularly your core engagement. So we're going to have another practice here with your TVA engagement. So one hand underneath each other. So make sure that wrists, elbows and shoulders directly underneath each other. Make sure that your knees are hip width apart, supported, and feet flat behind you. Okay? From here, draw that navel to spine again and feel that core engagement through in that lower back. And then just release it just slightly and then just release it again. And that's as much engagement that we need in that position there. Can everybody feel that? Yep? Lovely. All right. Nice. So from here, just to have a little stretch, sit back on your heels, reach your hands forward, thumbs up towards the ceiling. Sit back through your knees, let your head rest down and just stretch out through your lower back and through your spine. Good. Alright. And then come back up into your box position. So we've done your cat pedal earlier in the programme. We're now going to look at the first level of your Supermans. So back into your box position, so wrist, elbows, shoulders directly underneath each other, okay, and knees at hip width apart. Again, that TVA, so that navel to spine, just at about that kind of 50% effort, okay. Now, making sure that your shoulder blades are drawing back and down and together, so making sure that we're not rounding through that upper back, okay. From here, the head is looking straight down towards the floor, so we keep your neck in line with your spine. Okay, from here you're going to float one arm up, so you're going to slide your little finger out on the floor in front of you. If that feels enough, based on your tolerance for your back pain, you can stay there, and or lift the arm up, and then slide it back down, bring it back down into position. Okay, swap to the other side, so slide the little finger out. Good, take it to the point where you feel it's enough, lift and lengthen, come back down, and then bring the hand back into position again. Okay, so we're going to do 12 repetitions here. You've done 2, so we've got 10 left to do. If at any point you feel like taking a rest, bring yourself back into your back stretch position or your preacher stretch. Okay, so in your own time, flow through on that little finger out, slide it out, reach, lift and lengthen. Good, keep that head looking down towards the floor. Hold that position. So keep that head looking down towards the floor. And as you lift and lengthen, make sure we're not transferring weight across from one knee to the other. That pelvis should stay level and stay solid in position. And lift and lengthen it. And again, we're working up to 12 reps, but if you feel after the 8th rep that that's enough and you'd like to make a change and you want to take a stretch, you can. Well done. Nice, and with that belly button drawn in, just make sure that you're flowing with your breath as well and breathing through. Is everybody feeling okay? Yeah. I can sense a lot of concentration in the room. The moment going through, which is good. Well done. So once you've done your 12 repetitions, sit that weight back through the heels. Reach the arms forward as far as they want to come. Draw the head down towards the floor. And rest there. Good. Lovely. Does everyone feel that as a nice stretch through the lower back?
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah. You know, the lower back gets good workout every day. Perfect. Okay. Come on. Okay. So I'm going to take you into your next exercise. But everybody felt good doing the Superman, so pain or discomfort. Good. But everyone was able as well to hold through their core as well, which was good. All right. So your next little sequence of exercises, we're going to do a 3/4 mini plank into an upward facing sphinx to help work through the core as well, and then come back into a plank. And we're going to repeat that between 4 to 6 times. So coming through, coming forward, you can use your press up position to come down to hold alignment. So your elbows will be on the floor, tucked into the side of the chest. Again, neck in line with spine, so I don't want to see heads all the way down and vice versa. I don't want to see heads all the way up. So, and you're lengthening through the crown and drawing the shoulder blades back and down, so we're taking the tension away from here. Okay? You're going to draw that, again, that TVA in around that 50% shoulders back. You're going to lift your hips up off the floor to hold that plank position there. We're going to hold it for 3 breaths. You're going to take your breath in and breathe out. We're holding it there for 3 breaths. When you feel ready, under control, lower. And then from here, we're going to lift and lengthen to stretch out through your upper back on here. But at the same time, you need to draw your belly button away from the floor. So we're looking after your lower back. And then you release, come back down, head lengthen, shoulders back, lift, come into your plank. Okay, once we're done, we'll come back into this position, hands through and forward, and you will stretch out. Okay, so we'll have a little go. So come down into your position, always thinking about and looking after your back. Okay, so elbows tucked into the side of the chest, and you feel like shoulders are coming down and away from the ears. Okay, draw that belly button up towards that spine at about that 50%, so it's nice and strong. Okay, from here, lift up onto those knees. So lift the hips up, come up onto those knees. Good, lovely. Breathe for me. So 3 breaths here. Good, well done. Nice, slow, controlled breaths. Marvellous. Once you've done your 3, lower those hips down nice and gently. Lovely. All right, and then with your hands in front, you're going to lift and lengthen. Your head is going to come up, and you're going to feel like you stretch through the front here, but at the same time, draw that belly button away from the floor so it helps to protect the back. Nice. And then come back down, release. When you're ready, hands in that position, pin those shoulders back, Lift the hips off the floor, come onto those knees into that plank position. 3 breaths there. If 3 breaths is too much, take it down to 2 breaths. If 2 breaths is too much, take it down to 1. Good. Once you've done your breaths under control, come back down. Sweep those hands out to the sides of the chest. Push yourself back. Sit back on your heels. I was going to get you to stretch out your back. So once you've done the sequence of, once we've done your plank and your sphinx and back into your plank, I'm going to get you to sweep round here, push back, sit back on your heels, and take a nice back stretch there. Again, reach those hands forward, thumbs up towards the ceiling, just to help release through your shoulder blades, and sit back and stretch. How does everyone feel doing the 3/4 plank and sphinx? Okay? Yeah. Great. Marvellous. 3 breaths all right this week as well? So I know we've done 2 breaths before, so we just increased it to give you that 3rd breath, just to hold it that little bit longer. Okay, come forward again, bring yourself down into that safe position, so press that position if you need to. Alright, so elbows tucked into the sides of the chest, head in line with the spine, pin those shoulders back. When you're ready, lift those hips up, engage through that core, holding that 3/4 plank position. Lovely, make sure you're breathing fully nice and strong. Lovely, flow through your own 3 breaths. Good, and when you're ready, bring yourself back down and slide in position, and then lift and lengthen through the crown. So come down for a little bit and come down onto your hands through here, lift and lengthen there, and then draw that belly button up as you lift and lengthen to hold, protect that spine. And then lower back down, lovely, hands in position. Just pin those shoulder blades back, so strong through the back. Draw that belly button up, lift onto those knees, hold in that 3/4 plank position. Take yourself through your 3 breaths. So again, come back down onto your elbows on here, and lift and lengthen through there. Good. Once you've done that 2nd plank, sweep the arms round again, push back, push yourself through and back. Thumbs up towards the ceiling, head down towards the floor. Again, stretching out through. Well done, Libby. Good. Feeling okay? Yeah. Alright. And then coming through. So we've got 2 more flows to do. Will take us into 4 reps. So bringing yourself through and forward, holding that core at any point that we lower ourselves down to the ground. Okay. Elbows in at the sides of the body. So draw those shoulder blades back, lift and lengthen through the crown, head down towards the spine. Okay, when you're ready, lift those hips, draw that TVA in, go through 3 breaths here for me. And then once you're done, take yourself into your sphinx stretch. So lift and lengthen as you come up, though, draw that belly button away from the floor, protect that lower back. Lovely, and then lower yourself back down, reset to get back into that 3/4 plank position. Good. Lift up into that plank. Perfect, and again, just flow through 3 breaths for yourself. Once you've done your 3 breaths, push back and stretch out that lower back again. So work on your hips and your back just to get that a little bit from neutral. How's everybody feeling? Has everybody got 1 more in them?
Yeah.
Yeah? Just. Good. Alright, so bring yourself forward. So last repetition, so walk those hands forward again as you lower. Keep that alignment in nice and strong. Don't let those hips drop. Okay. Elbows in at the sides of the body. Pin the shoulders back, lift and lengthen. Engage that navel to spine. Lift those hips up onto the knees. Flow through 3 breaths here. Once you've done that, yeah, you can bring yourself into your sphinx stretch. Lovely. Come back down, elbows into position. Lovely. Last one. So pin those shoulders back, engage that spine or navel to spine, lift those hips. Lovely position. breaths. And again, once you've done it, lower those hips down, push yourselves back, stretch out through that lower back. So a bit stronger going into like 3 breaths instead of 2. Yeah, feel the difference? Well done, everyone. Alright, so come up into your box position again, so you're all 4s. So again, this is just to mobilise an articulate spine. So hands at shoulder width apart, knees at hip width apart. So same as we did with your warm-up, with your cat-cow. So draw the chin towards the chest, round through that upper back, and draw the tailbone underneath. So you're rounding through that back. And then as you push through, just gently, again, work within your tolerance range, so just kind of mobilise through as much as you can, relaxing your shoulders down and away from the ears. And again, push through, mobilise through, draw the head down, tuck under, stretch through that back. Lovely. And then just work through that breath, come back through, lengthen through, lift that head, push that bottom up towards the ceiling, stretch out through that back. Good, last one. Draw that head down, good, chin to chest, round for the upper back. Tip that pelvis underneath, stretch out that spine. Good, and then last one. Tip round and under, lift through that head. And again, just take it to your range of movement that feels comfortable. Lovely. And relax. Marvellous. Okay, everybody feeling good? Yeah, amazing. Okay. So we're going to do our little side line series, so to work particularly through the side of the core, but working on particularly like hip stability as well, and working through the glutes or through our bottoms. Okay, so our side lying position through here, sitting down through the side, again just take your time coming down to the ground as you feel comfortable to do so. Sliding one arm out and the head rested on the hand on here. For our level 1 for this week, because we haven't done this series as yet, legs bent at the bottom and the top leg is straight. Okay? From here when the head's rested, in order to contract through the core, your lower rib is engaged through to your top of your hip, so you'll feel like there's a little bit of a natural arch there. So try not to let the side of the body just sag on the floor. So feel that lower rib kind of connect down towards that rib, so you feel like the side of the body is nice and strong. Okay? Hand in front of the body to give you extra support and stability. Alright? As we lift the leg up, we're just going to lift it just in line with the top of the shoulders. When you kick forward, we're going to flex through the front of the thighs from here, dorsiflex the foot, so pull it towards you, and kick your heel out and away. Alright, when you come back to that centre point, you're going to flex the foot in the opposite direction, point the toe, engage through the bottom as you kick back, and then sweep forward. So it's heels through, pointy toes back, okay? Things that we're looking for in here is that we have good hip stability here. We don't want to be rocking around the place. And also when you kick back, you want to feel like if you were going to go backwards that you're not going to fall back into a wall as well, okay? So feel strong through your back and extend back again as far as you feel comfortable. So we shouldn't see any arching or flexing in our back as we're kicking through and kicking forward. Okay? Sound all right? Okay, so come on to one side, and I've got a little Brucey bonus in for our second exercise just to add to that one. Let's do this one first. So just, come to one side. Alright, so when you kick forward, you're just going to come outside the alignment of the body, so you're going to come forward a few feet. Okay, so before we start, so come back to that centre point, so before we start, connect your rib underneath the body towards the waist, so you feel like you get a little bit of an arch in that connection down the side of the body. Place the hand in front of you for that stability, and make sure those hips are pointing up towards the ceiling. Okay, so they're stacked one on top of the other. Alright, when you're ready, you're going to sweep through first, so tense the front of the thighs, flex that foot forward, that's it, lovely, and then come back to that centre point, point the toe, engage through the bottom, squeeze it, kick back. Lovely, well done. And then sweep forward, come forward, tense through the front of the thighs, pull those toes towards the shins, Lovely. Sweep forward and sweep back. And, lovely. And we're doing 8 sweeps here, so 8 forward and 8 back. Again, if you feel like you want to do slightly less repetitions, you can. Alright, really tense through the front of those thighs, pull those toes towards you, and as you come back, lovely, under toe, come through. Nicely, well done. So feel like you're in straight bottom, you should come back, and I think you sit up stable, and then toes moving out the toes, pull forward, kick forward, and some of those backs and hips, keep them nice and stable. Lovely, well done everybody. So sweep through for those 8 repetitions. Oh, I know. I know. I know.
So easy.
Well done. Good. Lovely. Marvellous. Okay, once you've done your 8, bring yourself, stay lying on your side. Stay lying on your side. With your knees bent and everything, so a little bit of a fetal position, but the arms are forward, heads rested, okay? Again, hips stacked, so this is to help work the smaller bottom muscles in the bum, which creates a little bit better stability in the hip. So keeping your heels and toes in contact at all times in this movement. Your hips are stacked one on top of the other, and from here, open at the knees to let the back of the bottom do the work, and then close back down. We've got 8 lifts here. Again, exactly the same thing. Make sure that if there was a wall positioned right behind you, you're not going to lean back into that wall. So only open out as far as you feel you're able to, until you feel like you might come back and hit the wall on there. Okay, lovely. And again, we've got 8 lifts. So on heels, then if you can, bring your feet down towards the floor. That's lovely. It's allowing your hips to stay stacked, so your hips pointing straight up towards the ceiling. Lovely. And then in that position, part the knees and work tight with the knees. Lovely. And then close again from there. Perfect. Stay at that level and do 8 from you then. Does that feel okay for everybody?
Yeah.
Yeah. So if at any point you feel like you're going to start rocking back through the hips and you're starting to lean back, don't open as far. And again, when we move between left and right sides, you'll notice that one side will be easier or harder than the other. Lovely. Okay, from here, you're going to roll around onto your back, and we're going to do a little glute stretch. So I'll come into the middle of you all so you can kind of hear me. Some of you will be able to see me. So on your back, feet flat on the floor, knees bent. Okay, from here, cross your left ankle over your right knee. Okay. For some of you now, if you're really tight in your hips, that you might be feeling a stretch here already. Okay. To make sure that we don't arch our back, particularly when we lift the foot off the floor, make sure that you've got that core engagement again. So you'll feel that navel towards spine. Some of you will start to feel your back get stronger against the floor. Once that's in position, lift your right foot off the floor. Then reach through, holding behind that leg, and pull it in. You should feel it stretch all the way around the hips. Lovely. Does that feel okay for everybody?
It feels good. I know how to do it.
So, yeah, so I know. So use the power in this leg to help just push it in. So don't worry too much about reaching forward. Just use the leg on this side just to help push in as well. Good. Make everyone breathe for me as well. A lot of people tend to hold their breath when they're stretching, so breathe. Okay, so before you lower the leg, engage that TVA again. So control that core, lower the legs down towards the floor, and swap over. Swap over. Wow. Wow. Lovely. So swap legs. So stay on your back. Oh, yeah, swap legs. Don't worry.
Don't swap sides.
That's all right. Sorry, swap legs. Yeah.
Oh,
Mine is just one side. Yeah. So again, one side will be tighter than the other. Lovely. And then lift that leg off. Good.
This is far as it's going. That's right.
covering again should, do people have like one side worse than the other?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. So again, part of your homework after the session will be when you stretch out, work on the side where you feel that tightness even more so. Okay. All right. Again, engage that TVA before you lengthen that leg back down to the floor, so we don't march through the back. Lovely. Okay. Swap onto the other side for me. So this is where we come onto the other side. Lovely. Well done. Okay, bring that arm out, head lower down. Okay, hand in front of the chest, lower leg bent. Make sure those hips are stacked one on top of the other. Alright? Engage your lower ribs down towards your waist to create tension in the side of the body. Lovely. Okay. Once you've got that, lift that leg up into the air. Okay, just in alignment with the shoulders. Okay, from here, when you kick forward, dorsiflex that foot, so toes to shins. Tense through the front of the thighs, sweep forward, and then kick and sweep back. Lovely. Remembering to engage through those glutes as you kick back, keeping that leg as straight as you can, but don't overcompensate movement. Good. So keep that stability at the hips again, 8 repetitions. Lovely. Sweeping through and back. Well done. Well done, everybody. Okay, so holding tight through the side on here for Samson as well. So using that bottom as you kick back as well to control that movement of the hips. Better, come back. Lovely. So you want to make sure these hips are constantly facing up towards the ceiling. Well done. Once you've done your 8 repetitions, bring your knees up together into that sort of semi-fetal position. Connect at the heels, connect at the toes. Okay? As you lift and open through those knees, make sure that you're not rocking backwards. Okay? So even if you're only opening a few inches without rocking back, that's absolutely fine. Okay? Again, you go to that level because rocking back is using different muscles, and we want to target those smaller bottom muscles in there, get those a little bit stronger. Well done. And again, go to your range of movement, go to your tolerance level. Keep remembering to engage that rib down towards the waist, down towards the hips to create that nice tension through the underside of the body. Breathing out on the effort as well. Try not to lean back. So you open. Again, stop there. Yeah? Feel the difference? Mm-hmm. Good. And again then, once you've done your 8 repetitions, roll round onto your back for me. Good. And the same glute stretch again. So crossing one knee over the thighs, and then from here lifting up. As you lift up, engage to that TVA, so draw that belly button towards that spine. Nice, just protecting that back as you lift up. Relax your shoulders in this position. Take the tension away from everywhere else in the body and just focus that stretch around the hips. Does that feel okay? Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, so we progressed your side lying kick position as well, which is good. Lovely. And again, navel to spine as you lower that leg down and then swap over. So if you know you're coming into your tighter side, particularly focus through that core as you lift that leg up and make sure that you breathe thrust as you're coming up. Well done. Good. And breathe into where the discomfort is, but again, take it to your level of comfort that you feel. Lovely. Okay, engage through that TVA again as you lower that leg down. Okay, so staying on your back now, we're going to come into a glute bridge. So the feet are hip width apart. Okay. Now when we lift and lower on this bridge position, make sure that you maintain that knee gap as well. So make sure you maintain that knee position. So try not to let the knees draw in, and vice versa, try not to let the knees draw out. Okay. when you're lifting up into your bridge, we're particularly going to be looking at your pelvic tilt. So just to kind of warm you up for your pelvic tilt, place the hands onto the top of your hip bones. So where you are here, place the fingers on top of those hip bones, relax your shoulders down, and I'm just going to get you to tip the pelvis forward so that those fingertips go towards the knees, and you'll have a nice little arch in the lower back. And then draw those fingers down towards the waist and towards the ribs. The back will flatten and the bottom will just lift off the floor ever so slightly. And just keep rocking forward and back. Again, this articulates the spine, just gives that nice movement into that lower back. Just rock forward and back again within your own tolerance, your own pain threshold that you go through. Just do what you can do and breathe with me as well. Lovely, so do one more forward and one more back. As if you had like a pail of water on the front of the pelvis and you were going to tip it towards the chest as you come forward, or you're going to tip the water down and away through the knees as you come to the front. Okay, so from here, come back into that level position. Okay, so plant those feet. Hands now come down to the side of the body with middle finger pointing down towards the heels. Okay, from here, engage through that TVA just at that little bit, just to draw that navel to spine, okay? Tuck your pelvis up and under, so you start to engage through the bottom, and you aim to lift your hips up off the floor. As you lift up off the floor, lifting up each part of the spine, one section at a time, coming up to a point again that feels comfortable for you, and then as you lower back down, just imprinting that spine one section at a time, back down onto the floor, just recognising what movement is taking place as the hips as you move up and move down, okay? So again, in your own time, flow through. We've got 8 lifts coming through. So Leanne, place your feet for me just in, good, and then focus on that knee gap as you lift up and you lower as well. Lovely, well done, Louise. Good. So articulate, lift up, one section of the spine at a time, and then as you come back down, picture that the spine has a nice string of beads down it, and you just try to pop each bead into the mat, one point at a time, until you get right down into those sitting bones at the bottom, and release. And the whole time, engage in that TVA, that 50% coming through, just so you feel there's limited movement taking place at the hips. Sometimes it helps as well that people feel that we contract the pelvic floor in this position as well, to help control those hips as we lift and as we lower. So flow through and a number of repetitions again that feel comfortable for you. Good. And then imprint down one section at a time as you come down. Control that movement of the hips as you come down. Lovely, holding tight at that core at that point there. Perfect. Lovely. And the more that you control your core, lifting and lowering, the less movement will take place at the hips. So just once you've gone through your repetitions, just to help release through the spine, bring the soles of the feet together, allow the knees to draw out to the side, the hands can just stay at the side of the body, and just feel the pelvis open from there. Does that feel okay for everybody? Mm-hmm. Yeah? Mm-hmm. There's no pain or discomfort anywhere. And again, as you do this, just allow that little bit of a contraction again through the core, just to stop us arching too much through our lower back, but this just helps to open out through the pelvis. Well done, everyone. Okay, bring those knees together. Marvellous. Okay, so we're going to do a little knee drop to bring you onto your side. So I'm going to get you into a seated position. So again, engaging through the TVA, so draw that belly button back to down towards spine. Have the hands just out a little bit wider of the body, so you've got a wider base. Okay, from here with that contraction in place, allow the knees to drop to one side. Lovely, good. And just take that initial stretch there. Good. And have your head looking in the opposite direction. So turn and look in the opposite way. Lovely, good. aiming to keep those shoulders on the floor. So this, for some of you, will feel quite tight through your back. Again, engaging through that TVA as you lift those knees back up to centre, so bring those knees back up to centre. Use the side muscles around the core to help you do this. Again, engage that TVA, draw the knees down to the opposite side. So come down to the opposite side, look in the opposite direction. Lovely. And again, targeting to keep those shoulders down on the floor. You should feel a lovely stretch coming right the way through from the top of the hips. Some of you will feel it across the top of your chest. Marvellous. Okay, so staying on this side now, I'm going to get you to turn your head to the same way that your knees are. Okay, bring your hand now that's over the other side over the top, and then use that hand at top now to push your body up so you come up into a seated position for me. Just again, we're looking to look after that back as we're moving around and about. How's everybody feeling? All right? Yeah? Okay. Sometimes if you let down for a little while as well, blood pressure can drop a little bit, so give yourself a few moments just to normalise. Good, well done. Okay, so our last seated position from here. So legs extended, okay, toes pulled up towards you so that you've got tension through the front of the thighs from here, okay, and lift and lengthen through the back and through the shoulders. So you're as tall as you can be from here and lifting up, lovely. So I'm going to get you to do that, so I'm going to get you to cross your knees in front, okay, and then lift and lengthen from there. Perfect. Okay, so with your legs in this position, again, we are going to do some twisted movements. We'll all try and go the same way. So turn the hands out, relax the shoulders down, lift the chest open and lengthen through here, okay? Breathe in, breathe out. We're all going to turn towards the doors on this side. So pinning those shoulders back as if you've got a grapefruit between your shoulder blades. Breathe in, breathe out and twist and turn towards the doors. And then come back to centre. Lovely. So what I might get you to do, Alison, is I might get you to shimmy back a little bit, have a little movement backwards. Lovely. And again, that's it, lovely. Lengthen and turn through. So as you turn, try and keep your chest as open as you can. Okay, so coming through, so I'll give you a hand. We've got 8 repetitions to do as you come through. So this is going to feel tight. So lift up and open again. Okay, lengthen through here. So try not to let these come in. As you turn to this side, keep those arms open, squeezing through the upper back. Lovely. All right, come back to that centre point. Breathe in, breathe out, twist and turn, but keep those arms open. Good. Keep the nose in line with that sternum as well, so it's in. There you go. Perfect. Come back to centre. Lovely. Turn and twist. Breathe out. Good. Keep those arms open. Don't let this arm flow out. Good. Come back to centre. One more from your hands. So open those arms. Squeeze this grapefruit between your shoulder blades. Lovely. Turn. Perfect. Come back. Oh, lovely. Relax the arms down. Oh, how are we feeling? All right. Yeah. So bend the knees in. Bring the arms round to the front, and just allow the knees to push into the outside of the elbows and draw the head down towards the chest. Again, just around through the upper back, and it's just had a nice little workout there. Lovely. And come back up. Marvellous. Okay. One little proprietary exercise to do before I stretch you off. So, seated forward, and I want you to try and feel like you're sitting on your sitting bones. So, sometimes you feel like we need to just like pull out from underneath, and we should kind of feel like we're sat on 2 bony parts at the bottom from there. Holding on through the front of the knees here. Roll your shoulders back and down, lifting your sternum up and forward, and pinning your shoulder blades back and in place from there, okay? From here, we're just going to let go of the knees and just hold hands out. So you can hold this position, and we're just going to release and hold from there. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Come back into position. Relax just for a moment, and then wait for there. Good, all right. So hands back. Pin those shoulder blades back and down, open, pull into place. All right, good. When you're ready, let go. 3, 2, 1. Oh, come on in. Oh, release. Okay, well done today, everybody. So slide one leg forward, knee into position if mobility allows, and reach forward. So how did you find today's session?
Very good.
Yeah?
Excellent.
Yeah. Anything too difficult or too challenging or
No.
need to change? No. No. Anything you really enjoyed?
No.
Just say all of it. All of it. Good. Lovely. So we go into week 5 next week, so swap over. When we go into week 5, we'll extend on some of the movements that we've done in this week, and just every week just challenge yourself that a little bit more, that little bit harder. But again, within your own tolerance level that you feel is manageable as well. We're all doing very well. We're moving better. Stretching's better as well. Good. Come on up. Okay. Cross those knees in front. Reach opposite hand to opposite knee. Slide back. And again, allow the head and chest to turn. Look behind. Stretch out through that back. Lovely. And release and switch round. Come to the other side. Just turn. And release from there. Interlock your fingers out. Draw your shoulders out. Drop the head down. Stretch through the upper back. Round the shoulders. Push the elbows out. Feel like a stretch. Good. And come on in. One last stretch. If you're able to, elbow down to floor. Otherwise, bring the hand down to the floor and reach up and over. We don't want the hip to lift off the floor, so push that hip down. If it's comfortable to bring the elbow down to ground, feel free to do so, and reach and lengthen over the top of the body. Well done, everyone. And come on up, so bring that elbow down, push that hand up, reach up and over. So again, if hand down on the floor is enough, otherwise if you can come down to elbow, come across. Reach up and over, keep that opposite hip down on the floor.